Good morning. Happy New Year. It's a new year today. At the beginning of a new year. 3 voices calling. So let them engage us. So you don't recognize the spot we're in. We're in a different place. I had found a lovely place, but I had to abandon it just to see where we are. Mount Arbel, the southern cliffs are right up here. You can actually see something through the trees here. In there you can see some of the cliff face of the mountain, but the trees are blocking the view mostly here. Let me see if I can find a spot for you. No, I don't think we can find a spot up there, so we'll just enjoy the sunrise right now. So Happy New Year, everybody. There are so many New Years. And there are 3 very powerful voices calling us today, calling out, crying out, urging. So just to get our bearings again, directly north of us is the Mount of Beatitudes, and normally we don't see this much water to the west of us, to the left, when we're looking at the Mount of Beatitudes, because we're looking from way over there, as far as you can see on the left where there's water. And then in the center of the screen we have the Sea of Galilee Hotel, which was opened a year ago. And then to the left of that you see all those trees, and that's the Kibbutz Ginosar. And then we have Magdala's blocked out of view here right now behind those little trees there close to us. But I had walked down here and I'd never gone there before, and I reached a point where it was impassable because the Russian Orthodox monastery meets the water in depth, so maybe when the lake was down years ago it was possible to walk by there. Besides that, there were very ferocious dogs barking loudly, and I thought that all you good ladies would get very nervous for my safety if I just stopped there with the dogs barking in the background. And they were really ferocious. They were tied by chains and they had a long leash, so they were able to run about maybe 40 meters of the fence, and there was razor wire. So it was a lovely spot. And you can see the end here in front of us. I was all along there, and then the same amount further south, and it was a perfect spot to film, but we'll catch it from another angle another day, God willing, further down. But I'll have to go on the bicycle or the car and go down below it to get in. And then we're very close to Tiberias. At that point we're really at the north of Tiberias. So it's a new liturgical year. the liturgy is the worship of God and the cult of God, the adoration of God in the community. And the Christian community today begins Advent. So there are 4 Sundays before Christmas. Imagine how the year is flying by. And today is the 29th of November. So it's only really over 3 weeks away. And that brings it very close to us. But we will have 4 Sundays of Advent, and then we will have Christmas. So Advent is toward the coming. We're looking toward the coming, we're looking toward the rising of the sun, we're looking toward the coming of Jesus. And I'm just fascinated by the marvelous readings. It's just amazing. And I encourage you to ponder them deeply. And also, please remind me at the end that we must talk a little bit about my sister Celine. And I meant to do it yesterday, but I completely forgot because of all the clouds we had yesterday. Isn't it amazing how the sky is completely different today? There's not a single cloud. I checked it out. It was the first thing I did as I was walking down the pathway here, the roadway, and I just checked all around 360 degrees, not a single cloud. And you remember yesterday we couldn't see the sunrise. And not even at the end did we see it after half an hour. And we had all those fascinating clouds. And quite a few of you shared that story around, so a lot of people got to see it, and that's great. And it's just so different. I was distracted, and I didn't mention that my sister Sailing will step in and do, from next Sunday I will be on retreat until through the following Sunday. So Sunday to Sunday inclusively, Celine is going to offer you her reflections at this hour of the morning. But actually she is also doing a series starting, I think, I'm not sure if it's today, at 2 o'clock here. So 2 o'clock here is 5 a.m. in New York, and you can calculate from that gets us across the Atlantic. We're 2 hours from England and Ireland here ahead of you, so that will be midday in England and Ireland, and it will be in the east coast of the Americas. It will be it will be 7 o'clock in the morning, not 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning on the east coast. In the Midwest it will be 6 a.m. but they will be up on her Facebook, and I actually included her Facebook link in the description yesterday, and it's also, I hope, included today. I will check that again and remind me if I don't. And you can just click on that to find where she is, and she's doing a wonderful survey of the women of Galilee, the women of the gospel, and she has a special niche there, and so she's going to be providing some beautiful reflections, and you can connect with her at that link. And she will also be doing at that link Sunday to Sunday. I will also put it in the WhatsApp chat that all of you have joined, her Facebook link, so that you have an easy access to it, and you just get in there and you know the rest of the thing better than I do. Okay, so back to our readings. I'm not sure if I'm going to move much from here, maybe a little bit, because you need to keep moving with this. It's getting chillier. It was 14 or 15 degrees Celsius today. So for us who are used to not getting below 30s until November, that was it's pretty chilly, although this is almost like summer in the west of Ireland. For regular temperatures, obviously the high in Ireland for the summer is 26 degrees. So now I've got a little technical issue here that I don't have the readings accessible because I do. I just found a way to do it. I got a live connection to the phone that's live streaming. So now I have the readings. That's great. Good. So now we're in Isaiah. Isaiah is the strong prophet of the Advent season. Isaiah is a person who is in the middle of tremendous trouble in the time of the Babylonian exile, Jerusalem shattered, the people discouraged, you know. There are so many psalms and prophetic texts describing this period and the heart of the people, and Isaiah is an extraordinary work in the Bible, extraordinary. And I'm fascinated with the words. Oh, there we got a fisherman coming out. This is just the perfect shot, people. Look at this. The fishermen are coming. They're going to cross the light there on the path of light on the water. You see they're approaching that right now. I thought I could actually walk down to where they come out, but I obviously wasn't able to do that. Now there they are in the middle of the light. You see them? They'll get a little bit closer to us. Maybe. I think so. Although they seem to be going in a line that's not in this direction, but I think they'll get a little closer to us and we can see them again. So let's go to Isaiah. He's the big prophet of Advent. The texts of Isaiah are so inspiring. And he starts off saying, "You, Lord, are our God, Father," is very special. To call God Father is very special. And there's the awe before God. And, you know, can you imagine a little child not saying daddy to their daddy? It's the most natural thing in the world. But in the case of God calling him Father, that's a development that's not easy when you have another angle saying we cannot even say his name. So imagine a child that couldn't say the name, that couldn't call out to their daddy. And the fact that Isaiah calls God Father, and this will also show up at the very end of the text we have today, and he will repeat this word Father. You, yet, O Lord, you are our Father. So there you can still see the fishermen. They're a little bit closer to us now. Not sure if there's two or just one. Peter and Andrew didn't have an outboard motor. Yeah, there might be a second man there in the back, but if he'd moved a little more, we'd have that confirmed. Yeah, I think there are two there. We just stay with this guy for another moment, okay? Because I want to capture something else here in the camera. Hey, I didn't realize there was this much. And there was zoomed in this much. Sutter? I'm not important. Oh wow, so they're stopping now. They're probably checking out a buoy to catch some fish, or not, or they're looking for it. They changed direction there. So let's go back and see how the sun is doing, people. Speedboating here. Come on, there we go. So this is the first word there. You are our Father. And you see, this is very important language because this is the language Jesus uses. You, Lord, are our Father. Why do you let us wander from your ways, O Lord? And then our hearts get hardened, and then we don't even fear you. We don't have respect for you. Wouldn't you think that Isaiah was talking today? Why do you let us wander, O Lord, from your ways, and harden our hearts so that we fear you not? Return. Why does he say return? Well, you have the huge experience with Moses 400 to 500 years earlier. No, 700 years earlier. And then you have the eventual entry to the promised land, and you have the rise of David and Solomon over 500 years earlier. So return for the sake of your servants. Return. Come back. And now listen to this, people. Listen to this. Listen to it in the light of a Christian believer right now. Rend the heavens and come down. Rend the heavens and come down. You remember yesterday we had all those clouds and they were rent at different moments with light. Rend the heavens and come down. With the mountains quaking before you. So there you can hear Mount Sinai language. And the experience Moses had on the mountain, that whole revelation of God. Rend the heavens and come down. With the mountains quaking before you. And you remember Elijah, then a good 300 to 400 years before Isaiah, goes to Mount Sinai, and there's a huge earthquake, and the mountains, the rocks are splitting. The mountains are quaking before you. While you wrought awesome deeds we could not hope for, such as they had not heard of from an old. So there's this appeal to God, come down, rend the heavens. And then there's another language that has an echo in Paul. No ear has ever heard, no eye ever seen. And then Paul goes on to say what God has prepared for those who love him. But here the text is, no ear has ever heard, no eye ever seen any God but you, doing such deeds for those who wait for him. Would that you might meet us doing right, that we were mindful of you in our ways. Hey guys, I want to go back to the fishermen in a second because we're a bit far away from them, but I think they're doing something we might get to see. I'm not sure, it might be late for that, but they had a big white thing there, so I think they were pulling in a net or something. And then there are two of them, as you can see, helping each other. You see that Peter and Andrew, James and John, they were going out in pairs back then also. These kind of trades hand on from generation to generation. And now they're off to a second spot. Maybe we'll catch them again, okay? But they obviously finished up their job right there and they're moving now. You see that structure just to the left, right above the boat now. That structure is where the boat is housed. The boat that was dredged out of the water about 30-something years ago. In a period of drought, two brothers were walking along and they discovered it. They discovered a piece of wood sticking out of the ground, and then the authorities came and they excavated a boat. And it's right there on the right of the screen now. I moved the screen and it's over there. So let me turn you around here again. Let's zoom in, zoom out so that you don't have to get a headache here if I turn this fast. It'll be easier to turn this way. We love watching the sunrise. At least I do, so I hope you like that too. And there's one more image, there are a lot of images. This text of Isaiah is so rich, it's so poetic, so filled with metaphors and similes. And then Isaiah is very conscious of the time he's living in, and that he's not aloof, he's not a holy one, separated from the people. And he says, we are sinful. All of us have become like unclean people. And this idea of uncleanness would be worth studying in Isaiah, because you remember that vision he has when he says that he cannot be there in heaven in the vision, and his lips are impure, unclean. And a people of unclean lips and unclean hearts. And that's when then the angel comes with the tongs, with red hot coals, and puts them on his lips and purifies them. This purification entering into communion with God. We have all become like unclean people. All our good deeds are like polluted rags. You know that rag that's terribly dirty in the kitchen and you don't want to touch it with your fingers, and it's been there too long and it's been neglected, it was forgotten, and it stinks. Like polluted rags, we have all withered like leaves. Hey, we can see that around here. There's lots of leaves. I walked over tons of them today under the trees along there. We are like withered leaves, and our guilt carries us away like the wind. There is none who calls upon your name, who rouses himself to cling to you. For you have hidden your face from us and have delivered us up to our guilt. Yes, Lord, you are our Father. And then we have this other big image, that rend the heavens and come down. And this other one, we are the clay and you are the potter. We are the clay and you are the potter. This image has had such an echo in contemplative life, in reflection, in relationship with God, in availability to Him, to allow Him to mold us. It's a very rich image that really marks the path for us there, as bright as this on the water, of our relationship with God, that God is molding our lives. Like, who would have imagined a year ago the corona pandemic? And this has molded our lives. We have been shaped by this. We've been formed. We will never be the same again. All of our hectic running around was shut down. If any of you speak German, there's a wonderful lady who's doing a podcast and a YouTube regularly on the liturgy, Nina Herriman. I will put up her link at some point. And just very, very powerful commentary on. She's a professor in near San Francisco, and I was actually at her doctoral thesis here in Jerusalem at the École Biblique. She did it on the Song of Songs, an incredible doctoral thesis on the Song of Songs. A really, really smart lady, and she's doing wonderful commentary on all of this. I just heard her commentary yesterday for the first Sunday of Advent. Lord, make us turn to you. Let us see your face, and we shall be saved. So this is the spirit of Advent. Lord, let us turn to you. Let us see your face, and we shall be saved. So let's walk with that verse a little bit. And that's coming from Psalm 80. That's our verse today. So I'll bring you through a little piece of rough terrain now that is the only way to get back to the road. And give you a couple of chances there to take your nice screenshots. Advent is a very intense time. Very, very energetic time for the spiritual life. It's about being wakening up. Being awakened. Get ready, He is coming. Look at all these old palm trees. The leaves that were blown in the wind. All these palm leaves are all withering. And then you have the healthy ones up here. There's a little dock here. There are quite a few docks along here, along this place. All the area that I went today, but it's a little bit neglected. Here you can see the sign for the trail. I know you love the sound of these waves, and with this little dock here, the effect is more powerful. Here we are at the Sea of Galilee and the beginning of this new year. Happy New Year. I promised you 3 voices and we only did 1. We'll continue later with at the Mass this afternoon, God willing. It's nice to see it so clean here. So refreshing. So people, I think the place I have to go through here is kind of difficult. Well, let's do it just in case you'd like to see it. It's a little bit dirty as well. That's life. So it's just connecting to the road out here. So it always has to be first. Go ahead, Soder, go ahead. I think I brought you through here once before. There we have the trail marker again. So I'll be back on the road when we come out of here, and then you can relax. So there we are, out again at our favourite waterworks here at the end of the road. Tiberius buildings right there in the background. And there we have the sun. So people, it was wonderful that you joined again this morning. And I hope this is a blessing for you. And wish you very well to be awake in this time of Advent. The Lord wants to bless our souls, to lift us up, to rend the heavens and come down for us. This is the gift we have coming to us right now. God bless you. See you later, alligators.